I'm super excited to be starting this video series. I will be talking about Lumen Gentium. I'm going to be going through every chapter and every paragraph, just kind of giving an explanation so that the document's a little bit more accessible. Lumen Gentium is the dogmatic constitution on the Church from Vatican II. It is the second constitution on the Church, the first one being Pastor Aeternus from Vatican I. Pastor Aeternus, while being a constitution on the Church, was more about the papacy. Lumen Gentium, on the other hand, is more about looking at the Church as a whole as opposed to just the papacy. The first word in Lumen Gentium is Christ, as opposed to Pastor Aeternus, where its first word is pious, after the Pope under which it was written, which makes sense in terms of the whole theme of Pastor Aeternus is about the papacy, which shows this sort of this sort of healing and recovery in the Church, to go from, being focused on the Pope as the head of the Church to a focus on the person of the Lord Jesus as the head of the Church, with, of course, the Pope serving the Lord Jesus as his head, as the vicar of Christ on earth. But the focus is on the Lord Jesus. The very first sentence, right off the bat, states that the Church exists to proclaim the gospel, that the Church may bring everyone into the light of Christ. So this introduces the entire document as one that defines the Church as desiring to bring every single human person into a deep, intimate communion with the Trinity. The first chapter of Lumen Gentium is about divine unity. And so you have in this first paragraph, the Lord Jesus through the Church, who is reaching towards all of humanity and drawing them to himself. Whereas chapter 2 is going to be about human unity, but we'll get to that in another video. This first paragraph also gives a loose definition of the Church, that the Church is in the nature of a sacrament, a sign and an instrument of communion with God and unity among the human race. As human persons, we're physical and spiritual beings, right? We have a physical body, but we also have a spiritual soul. I can't say that. That is next sort of hairs. We are a physical body and a spiritual soul. And so we understand spiritual reality by physical reality and vice versa. So the Church exists in order that the entire human race may be able to witness the kind of communion that God desires to have with us. This comes back to the Church as mystery, which is a more scriptural understanding of the Church than an institutional understanding of the Church, which is what Pastor Aeternus was about. We strive for unity here on earth. We realize that because of sin and because of the fall, it's going to be imperfect, but that full unity and full communion with one another and with the Lord Jesus is going to be realized at the end of time. So there's this hope for a fuller communion and a fuller unity later in eternity. Well, anyway, I hope you guys really liked the video. I hope this was helpful in explaining the first paragraph of Lumen Gentium. Yes. Till next time.